the key was just figuring out how to humanize it and make it relatable to a mainstream audience, to the people that had never read the work before, while still keeping the core DNA of what makes Asimov Asimov.
It's absurd playing the Emperor of the Galaxy. The idea of an Emperor of the Galaxy is kind of absurd. There's someone who thinks that they have control over trillions of people through a galactic empire. Absurd. But I find it intellectually absurd, and I find that's what really drew me to the show. The thing about Cleon is that he's conditioned to believe that the only solve for any problem is violence. And he's not the only one that thinks that way. But I think we really examine him. But what I can, say about the show is that that a big pleasure of this show is watching the Cleon suffer. So he might be a bad guy, but he's got a tough road ahead.
Yeah, so you see her being reunited with her daughter, which is really, really beautiful and amazing to see, and how their relationship, travels and exploring that. We see her with Harry and seeing how they start off not in a very good place. So it's fun to see where that journey goes, and, lots of hard times, again, as always, with Gail. But she perseveres and she always comes out in the end.
I think it's nice to be able to play characters where it doesn't matter what they look like or what their gender is or anything like that. And as somebody who's acted in shows where, for instance, I've been playing men since my first professional job, this is so normal for me, and I think it should be continued to be normal, just shifting it up, changing it up, bringing it to today.
It is a dream. It's crazy. It's wild. So I love that character, and I love kind of the way we get to reveal her secrets. I think as an actor, what you love the most is to have a character with many secrets, because then when you kind of get to reveal those bit by bit, it's amazing. And then I just get to act with these amazing actors like Lee Pace, Cassian Bilton, Terrence Mann. So it's been such a joy just to kind of get to spend so many years with them.
Yeah, it's a joy. I mean, I think a lot of the joy is the challenge, is sharing a part with two other formidable actors. I mean, Terry and Lee are just, they're so generous to me. But it is strange playing someone that is both historical and has been the same throughout the ages, and yet each different one has a different flavour to him and a different energy. But that's the fun. That's the fun. I mean, I started season 2 just thinking, oh, I'm kind of starting from scratch here, Even though we've been here before, it's kind of like the whiteboard's been cleaned up and let's begin again. It's been really fun.
It's been an amazing arc to create Polly, especially when we catch him up in that first season at the age of 12, and then we see him at that 148 years later. And another lovely thing is he says, I think why he's lived so long is because he always wanted to see what was on the other side of that mountain.
I play Hober Mallow, who is, I guess, a kind of intergalactic con man who travels around space, conning people, really. And he sort of gets drawn into the story because his name is sort of written by Harry Seldon as being an integral part of the solution to the second crisis. And so he reluctantly becomes involved. And despite his best efforts to remain an anti-hero, he's forced to be more of a sort of classic hero. But yeah, quite fun. A con artist turned good, I guess. Yeah.
I love working with Sandra Yi Sencindiver, who plays my Enjoyna Rue. Just meeting her and creating such a beautiful friendship together. I really felt like she looked after me throughout the process, and obviously that's what Enjoyna does do to the Queen. So yeah, Sandra, every piece of work I did with Sandra was a joy. But also Lee Pace is incredible. To be able to act with Lee Pace is pretty magical.
My character is Enjoyna Rue, is one of the new characters, and is the political advisor to the very young, very beautiful Queen Seraph. Well, I get to play a character who has many layers, and I get to be a part of a show where there's just so much talent and so much effort and so much detail and care put into it.
So my character is on the planet Ignis, and I am one of the mind-reading new characters. And some of the main characters are going to come to our planet, and stuff's going to happen.
I mean, there's a lot going on in it, as you know, as there was in season 1. Loads of new characters like myself, lots of action, but there's also some really great love connections and relationships, which I think are really deep and will move the audience a lot.